All right, folks, now this is Investors Corner. This is a segment of the program where we look at the hobby for more of the investment side. And what we typically do here is we look at the top 15 eBay sales for the previous month. So this previous month was February, and there were some doozies. As usual, Star Wars has a tendency to dominate the list, but there's a couple of surprises on here, and it's really kind of amazing how other markets are really starting to grow here. But as a grading company, we get a lot of these higher end items, and so you see a lot of people that are people buy for fun, but they also buy because they know there's going to be a return on your investment. And chances are a lot of these things were purchased for, we'll just say, significantly less than what they sold for last month. So with that, I will get started with number 15 on the list, and it is a Star Wars item. Number 15 is Kenner Star Wars 1978 TIE Fighter. It's the white version, mint in sealed box. It's graded a near mint plus 85. This was released in 1978 in Kenner's first wave of vehicles. It was later released in blue with battle damage stickers. It sold for a best offer of $6,600 even.
I don't believe that. How is that? Is that realistic? Get out of here.
It's got to be the grade. Hey, if anybody have a question,
that's a high grade. That's a high grade. But look, I remember when you could get those for $2,000, $2,500.
Right?
And when I say I remember, that was like a year ago, 2 years ago,
right? I just think that
that's nuts.
Well, high grade stuff, it's when you start. Goes back to ICC-Con last year. So I talked to David Deans, and we talked about this, right? So when you look at collectible toys, we say, we kind of came up with this thing where, an 80 is a collector's grade and an 85 is, investor's grade. And when you start getting into the 85, 90s, all of a sudden you see prices starting to hit the stratosphere a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think the grade speaks to this,
That's why poor people like me collect 75s. 75 is with poor man's grade.
Hey,
it's still nice looking. It's still nice looking.
Got a little bit of vintage on it.
It's Monet. It looks good from a distance, right? That's from Clueless. So,
but no, I think that's an amazing number. What my tough thing to wrap my head around is how do you complete a set of that?
Is in terms of all the
original Star Wars big
how do you ever get a complete set
of TIE fighters?
Yeah. Or everything,
or all the original vehicles, 85s would be impossible. Yeah. I think there was either an 80 or 85 Falcon that went on Hakes for $10,000.
No.
Well, there was, and I don't have the number offhand, because Anthony and I are going to actually do a Hakes edition from this auction that ended 2 weeks ago. There was a special edition, there was a land speeder that came with an R2 and 3PO American edition, but it had the sticker, came with an R2 and 3PO, and it went for over $10,000, maybe like 17,000.
It was the special. There was a special edition.
A special offer. No, it was a special offer.
Right. Special offer. Yeah, right.
I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to have a boxed, complete set of vehicles, but I don't care if some of them are 40s. I really don't care, right? I mean, if your standards is 85, you mean, come on.
Yeah.
You're not, if you have it, that's fine.
That's the beauty of our hobby. There's guys and girls that are going to collect only 85s and have the means to do that. There's people that are going to collect the beater 40s that you couldn't ever grade because they're not even 40s, right?
Right. And that's why we don't grade though, because there's still people who want those things.
Right. But there's something for everyone in this hobby, which is great.
Right. Now, number 14, and I'm going to get to this afterwards because I'm a Star Wars guy, and we have some other high sales that are just creeping in on our old stomping grounds, right? So number 14 is Mattel Masters of the Universe 8-back Series 1 Man-at-Arms. It's a red dot on the helmet version. It's another 85, so near mint plus 85. It's punched. Clear bubble, has warranty text on the back. They had an asking price of $9,999 and sold for $7,900. Folks, Star Wars 12-backs don't sell for that much. What happened?
Some do, but is there a significance to that red dot?
That I don't know. Russ,
so interestingly, our good friend Josh Van Pelt is just putting up the finishing touches on his 5-backs about Masters of the Universe 8-backs. So we'll see. We'll see if he goes into it. Now the warranty versus non-warranty. I can't recall which one is rare or not. The red dot. I honestly don't know. But you would expect a He-Man or a Skeletor clear bubble in that high grade condition to be that high. A Man-at-Arms, that's a very high price tag for that. But again, it's hard to find a clear bubble, and it's like everything else with an auction. Two people got to want it.
Well, yeah, and this was actually sold best offer. So something they were asking.
Oh, best offer. Never mind. All right, so totally ignore what I just said.
Yeah, so somebody came in with $8,000 and said, "Hey, I'll give it to you," right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Clear bubble information was good, man.
Yeah, that does. So, and that matters, and that's one thing. If you're newer to some of the high end stuff, so people like things to get as close to original as possible. So, you look at clear bubble is 1, unpunched is 2, no price tag is 3. So those are things. So that don't. None of those things change the grade of the item, but it changes the desirability of an item. So it's sometimes.
Let me ask you this: do you guys think if it was unpunched and didn't have that price sticker, it would have gone for the $10,000?
If it was unpunched and didn't have the price sticker, it'd probably go higher. Yeah, it would probably go higher, I would think.
I mean, it would be more desirable. I think that there are, people, how it goes. There are
people that collect unpunched only.
Yeah.
Right.
I know guys that do fully unpunched runs,
Yeah.
which again, for me, that never really mattered.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
It is, man. You know how long it takes to hunt something like that?
Yeah, that's true.
What's funny? So I actually have an unpunched run of Return of the Jedi figures. So 65 through, and it took me 3 years. You can go. I can go on eBay right this minute and I can put together a Jedi set. But if you want a mint debut card, unpunched, like graded 80 or better, it took me 3 years. That's how hard that is. So when you start getting into the upper echelon, it is definitely a different world.
That's also Chris Whitlock on his phone constantly for 3 years. So that would be 10 years for most other people to pull it together.
Right.
I'm also thinking of all the arrows I'm about to edit go into your head right now going, Star Wars snob, overachiever, too good for us.
Right.
Should be going this way. Your head's over here.
Your unpunched collection, Chris. So impressive.
Mr. Unpunched.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell by talking to me. I'm very much an elitist. So very very snobby, not very approachable. So number 13, we're sticking with Masters of the Universe. This is number 13 is Mattel Masters of the Universe, another 8-back Series 1 He-Man. This one is only graded 80. It is punched, but with a clear bubble, again with the warranty. And this one was a buy it now for $7,999.
$99 more than the Man-at-Arms. Now this is an 80, not an 85, but
right.
I think that's about right for the price of what you expect for that He-Man, frankly.
You're seeing those sell for a bunch. And who if that red dot may be a big, and so comment below if the red dot is significant. One of the best things for me about doing this segment, and actually really for all of us, is it's forcing me to learn a lot more about other genres that I liked but don't know the specifics on, like I do Star Wars, right? So I'm learning, like I literally 2 days ago learned that there was a such thing as a red dot Man-at-Arms. Now I wanted to find out more about it. So that's one of the beautiful things. This is almost like me studying for my job at CAS.
I'll tell you, I literally found out right now as you're recording this that there are Masters of the Universe figures that go over $1,000.
There you go. Well, you know what happened? I think it's been a little bit longer than that, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, but as Star Wars prices started going up, a lot of people that were only hardcore Star Wars collectors started branching out into G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe. And so, the additional demand put additional price pressure on that. And the economy is doing well, too, and that didn't hurt. So,
there's a lot more money in younger people as well.
Yep.
The coins and the crypto and stuff like that, and they need something to spend it on.
Right.
That's right.
I do think there's something to be said, though, for there's nothing extraordinary about this He-Man, right? It's an 80. There's no special variation involved here, but it's his debut card, I would assume. I don't know, Masters of the Universe, but an 8-back. So He-Man would be
that is the debut.
Okay, that would be like our Luke, right? So So an 80 Farm Boy Luke on a 12-back A. It's not going for $8,000.
Not even.
The thing is, the He-Man is much rarer than a 12-back Luke.
Oh, it
much
is
rarer.
Okay,
and to find it with a clear bubble, impossible.
Okay.
So it would be like the
So it's
equivalent
like
of
an emperor or something.
it's like a DT. I would call it like a DT Luke card.
No, but you know
right?
how like the
Big-
emperor is always
Right.
that yellow bubble, and
Okay,
So-
right,
randomly
yeah.
find a
So
clear answer.
Probably as
Masters
hard
of the
as
Universe,
That, Mike.
it's
Probably as hard as
usually-
that, Mike. Yeah.
So Motu is plagued by yellow bubbles just as much as, say, Jedi or Power of the Force.
All right.
So taking Mike's analogy further, right? The Emperor has a big bubble, right? So there's more surface area, more bubble to be yellow. Masters of the Universe have a big stinking bubble,
Right.
So finding a clear, especially the earliest series, is very
Tough.
difficult, and it just looks a lot nicer with a clear bubble. Is it worth 2x because of that clear bubble?
Especially when it could
beauty's
change.
in the eye of the beholder, right?
So we actually have a tie for number 11, so we don't have number 12, and this one is super sweet. I gave a lot of detail. So this is number 11 is Mattel Major Matt Mason and Barbie. It's a store display, right? So it's not graded, but it looks near mint. So you actually have the actual Major Matt Mason and Barbie glued to this display, and it's 25 by 13 and a quarter inches. It was a promotion run by it's like a funny faced comic strip, which must have been a comic strip back in the 60s. It was intended as a store promotion, and this is a sign of things, right? So it was gender specific. So yeah, 2,500 boys would win the Major Matt Mason, and 2,500 girls would win a Barbie house in an evening costume. And the kids were asked to color a comic strip from a removable sheet and then send it in. So this is just a piece of cardboard with toys glued on it that was supposed to be a toy display, a store display that has stayed mint since what was it, 1960? So in mid 1960s. It's like, holy cow, right? And that sold for a buy it now of $9,000.
And Chris Whitlock bought it.
Yeah, well, I love my Barbies.
I could see it though, man. Look at that. It's a very nice store display. I mean, or not a store display, but like a salesman sample or something like that.
It was a store display, so it was a contest, is what it was. So
That's cool. I think it's cool, man. I mean, it's definitely not my focus, but they both do have clear bubbles. Too.
I thought you were a Matt Mason Barbie collector.
I don't even know what Max Mason is. To be
Matt
honest.
Mason? Yeah, I don't know what Matt Mason
I'm going to say,
either.
I did not know what Matt Mason was until I watched a CAS Roadshow. It was Chris Whitlock live, I think from Joe Fest.
it was Kentuckiana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, back in August, and a gentleman, turned in beautiful mint on card.
It's a
like
1960s figure. It was awesome. It was. I'm
And
going to put a link to that right there.
Yeah,
Right
it was from Mattel went out of the way with it, and with its articulation. So Matt Mason, if you look at the shoulders and at the elbows, has this sort of like a springy material. So he's actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of articulation on a 6-inch action figure from the mid 1960s.
And they were like bendable joints. It was sort of like having pipe cleaners in them, right?
All right.
Yeah.
I paid attention.
Number 11, also the tie is a G1 Series 1 Optimus Prime mint and seal box. Again, it's near mint plus 85. The auction says straight line version, and I could not find any info on what straight line is. And I know there are some variations for the original Optimus Prime. There's, the rub sticker versus no rub. I think there were rubber wheels versus plastic. Does anybody know what the straight line is specifically? And I guess we'll get to the price. So there's an asking price of $11,000, and it sold for $9,000. So, yeah.
Whew.
So,
yeah, but it is a truck and a robot.
And it is right now in the collectibles market, it's the goats that are selling for the stuff, right? Your LeBrons, your Michael Jordans, your Mickey Mantles, and let's just say Optimus Prime is the Mickey Mantle of Transformers, right?
I think it's a heck of a box, and with all the fake Transformers and stuff that they've made over the years, I mean, that's got to be really hard to find in that condition with an Optimus.
Right, sealed.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, we do have an even cooler one coming up, because All right, so number 10, boy, this is one that I wish I was in the market. Like, I'm in the market for. I wish I had the money for it because this is probably about as cheap as I'm ever going to find one. Number 10 is Kenner Star Wars 12-back A Vinyl Cape Jawa. It's graded EX Plus Near Mint 75. The card and bubble were both 85s, and the figure got a 70 because of a discolored cape. It's unpunched, clear bubble, no price tag, and it sold in an open auction for $9,099. Ross, I could have bought one of those from you. Well, no. So I could have bought, Jeff Walters bought yours from you.
The 60.
Yes, and I could have bought that for $6,000 like 2 or 3 years ago, and I passed.
Yeah, I sold it to him. I sold him 5,500.
What, Mike? More recent than that.
You said what, Mike?
I think I sold the Vinyl Cape Jawa for $6,000 more recent than that.
Whoa. Yeah.
See the issue with this one, right? And I think a lot of them, and why I don't regret selling my Vinyl Cape Jawa. We talk about bubbles turning. Those capes that have turned,
right?
In an 85, that's a $12,000, $13,000 figure. All of a sudden becomes, and that's still a strong price for a discolored cape. I would never pay that. I would never pay that.
The sketchy thing is they are turning currently. It's not like the bubble where they haven't turned in 40 years. It's like happening now.
Yeah.
So, all right, number 9, we're back to Masters of the Universe. Is Mattel Masters of the Universe 8-back Series 1 Skeletor. This one is graded near mint 80. It has the front painted boots, which that's another thing that I'm hoping comes up in that 101. Like, is there a back painted boots?
There is. Yeah, that was the first version.
But 8-back, like, is it on an 8? Like, where does that variation change?
I believe it. I believe it does. I think it has both the front and back. But Josh will probably tell us.
I hope.
Tell us.
I hope.
I believe so. I believe it does. This one, honestly, I'm glad this is the highest price of those 3 that you showed. I think it's the best one. Skeletor is the best figure, right? That's a clear bubble too.
Yep. Yeah. Clear bubble. I said I can't see the whole picture on mine. I have unpunched. I don't know if it is or not. Because
why would you say it's unpunched if it's not, Christopher?
Because
you're the unpunched expert.
I was probably answering a text. I was probably answering a text from Ross Barr, and I was filling this thing out. But it sold for they were asking $12,200 and sold for a best offer of $10,500.
Wow. We had one of these last month, right? A front painted boot. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something I really need to do. I should keep a running tally because it would be nice to know if this was more or less than the last one to sort of see where it's trending a little bit, right? But I know it was definitely up there.
Yeah.
And another one sold pretty well at Hakes as well. We had a couple of Hakes Motu stuff that we'll be talking about in our special edition for Hakes.
Yeah, again, at the end of the day, that's a lot of money for a production toy. That there exists a decent amount of examples of.
Ross, we're only at number 8.
I know.
I know. Number 8 is a really cool one. One that you don't see very often. It's a Kenner Star Wars Sonic Controlled Landspeeder. It's graded near mint plus 85. It was a JCPenney's exclusive. It used an R2D2 shaped remote and clicker technology to change direction. Clicker technology actually used to help change channels on TVs back when back in the day. And it was a unique Landspeeder sculpt. So it was actually made completely new for this toy, and they had an asking price of $15,000, and it sold for a best offer of $12,500. And with an 85, I have opened up cases of stuff, and you pull stuff out of brand new cases that aren't 85s.
Yeah.
So you're talking creme de la creme, high end.
Well, that's
easy to get too.
Yeah, I was just going to say the exact same thing. It's not easy to find, and then to find it in that condition. We're talking about our guy or girl that collects that TIE Fighter that's an 85 to get another one for the collection and an 85 for the Sonic Control Landspeeder.
Throw both these things in the same box, right?
Right. And the thing is that
$20,000 right there.
Right.
But the TIE Fighter was actually available everywhere, and the what do you call it? The Landspeeder was only available in the one spot. So that was it. You were very, very limited production.
Just JCPenney, right? Yeah.
So, the next one is outstanding, and I absolutely love this. And I literally 2 days ago found out that this thing existed, right? So number 7 is from a company called Plasticos, which is I guess Mexican subsidiary of Hasbro. Transformers Generation 1, Series 1, Optimus Prime in Mexican packaging. Yow. So Billy is basically what Lily Letty, but for Transformers. So graded near mint plus 85. The packaging is in Spanish. It was actually sold in Canadian dollars. So, but everything, all of the numbers I'm saying, I've actually done a currency conversion as of March 15th, 2021 yesterday. So if you guys are listening to this a few years from now, these numbers may be different. But they had an asking price of $16,000 and it sold for $12,832.
I just want to comment that Chris Whitlock is the hardest working man in the toy grading business, right? Like he's like, not only is he converted as of a date certain, he's essentially promised to continue to convert it for you for people in perpetuity, right? To keep the show current. We'll do updates every month.
Do a refresh. I grab my phone.
Dude, you are amazing, Christopher.
Well, thank you
so very much. I love you so very much.
It's a labor of love. Absolutely. Yeah. I love it.
No, it's a phenomenal doc that you're going through. I'm looking at that, though. To be honest, I don't think that's expensive at all. I think that's actually cheap.
Yeah, rare, right?
Cheap. I think it went cheap.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because anything vintage from Mexico like that, it's impossible. It's because, see, they don't have like us where we have, basements for 1,000 years where your grandma never throws out nothing. I mean, it's very tough to keep cardboard in that shape from Mexico. I've seen a Professor Ob sell for $4,000. And who's Professor Ob, right?
Right. No idea. And I would bet that like there's one of these for every 1,000 Hasbro ones that are out there.
I would say it's even more rare. I mean, man, I go to Mexico a lot, and I buy a lot of Mexico collectibles from vintage collectors in Mexico, and it's not like it is in America where you walk into like the Cincinnati Toy Show and there's like Falcon. You get to decide from the 35 Falcons which one you want. I've seen 5 Lily Letty Falcons for sale ever.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's very rare, and they're not beautiful. I don't know. I think that's a heck of a piece, and I think that person got a killer deal.
Yeah, I didn't
money too. What is it, like $8,000?
No. So they did the conversion. So it sold for American $12,800. Again, it's real money, right? I mean that is, but again, when's the next time you're going to see one? Never.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think ever. I mean, I know guys with some massive collections in Mexico, and I've never personally seen that transfer.
No, I literally 2 days ago found out this thing exists.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
So
I kind of want it. Ross, buy it for me.
When's your birthday, Mike? You got it, buddy. You got it. You got it.
Hey, guess what I found out?
Sorry, kids, you're not going to college. You need to get Uncle Mike a present.
Transformer, man. I mean, I made a deal. Straight line. I figured out what it is.
Okay, cool. What is it?
Yep. All right. It has tabs in the wrist that prevent them extending into the straight position. Unfortunately, these same tabs act as levers, so they try to force the hands into if you try to force the hands into a straight position, you will simply snap the fingers. Sculpted finger joints that are aligned in a straight line are an obvious weak point, and they change the way the fingers were shaped.
Oh.
So there's other ones that are I found somewhere else on some website that was selling them, but there's all different ones for the G1 Transformers. Like there's a, I don't know, Roadblock or whatever that has straight line also. It's like a thing.
Huh.
So it's because they broke too easy, so they changed.
So it's like a flaw.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, design flaw that they... Interesting.
Sounds like Mike just got a job as our research analyst for the Investors Corner.
I ain't got time for that.
Hey, Chris.
I can't make any docs like this, man. I come into these shows ice cold, just being like, I'll just talk about whatever.
Right.
Wow, that's outstanding. Good, because I looked, I couldn't find anything. So
good work, Mike.
Yeah, did it on the fly too while he's commentating. It just tells you how you That's why the things you do are successful. It's because you can do.
I own 15 freight truck companies, 10 art galleries. I got 5 conventions going on, 150 pages on Facebook.
It's a DJ, rap star, all that. Yeah.
I could sing Sinatra.
There you go.
Dude, love Sinatra.
It is a live show, just saying.
Yeah, no,
you
don't want any of that. You want viewers, don't you?
I mean,
after a couple of beers on Saturday night, we'll get you singing Sinatra. It'll happen.
There you go.
So we'll live stream it
out there. Why not, man?
We'll live stream it.
Ooh, next up is one of yours, huh? That's a fancy pants, boys. That's nice.
Yeah, one of the ones that I think kind of make us famous, right, is how we started doing the DT sabers. So number 6 is the Kenner Star Wars loose Darth Vader telescoping saber, cased. I misspelled it and I said eased. Anthony likes to point out my misspelling. But cased with the COA. So the telescoping saber was discontinued early in the 12-back run. In fact, I think there's a 12A white footer, 12A skew footer, and there is one known 12B. This is very, very condition sensitive figure. So like, you can find these oftentimes with the missing inner or with the cracked outer shafts because they were just prone to breaking super, super easy. Easily the top 5 rarest production Star Wars figures. And it sold for a buy it now of $12,999. We see this a lot with these DT figures where people like to have them cased with COAs or cased with card backs. I think when you're spending $13,000 for a figure, you like to hold something tangible, and sometimes holding something that I don't think
substantial,
you like,
right? Substantial, right? Not something nice and big. CIB with AFA does this all the time with the COAs, right? Inside the case, and I'll tell you a story about this. This particular piece predated, I think, when the two of you joined up with CAS. We never really did that. Never really would, grade a piece with our certificate in it. And when this particular collector wanted something substantial, like Chris noted, and having that COA in the case, if you recall, all of our statements of archival have a picture of the graded item on the statement or the certificate.
Right.
So I asked Ken to do it, and he was like, you could see his mind got into a warp, and he was like slowly getting sucked away. He's like, if I need to take a picture of the item and put it on the certificate, but the certificate is in the item, how am I ever going to do this? And
it's a paradox.
We had a 5-minute conversation. Like, dude, just don't put the picture on the certificate this one time, and you can put it in. He's like, but there won't be a picture on the certificate, which will be in the item. But if the certificate's in the item, how do we get the picture on the certificate? I'm like, brother, no picture. We're CAS very much we'll do what the collectors want type of thing. We found a way to make it work, notwithstanding Ken's OCD about having a picture on every single certificate.
I'm gonna tell you, Ross. I have a CAS vinyl cape Jawa loose.
Yeah.
I have a certificate with the picture of the figure on the certificate next to the figure.
What? That's impossible. That's impossible.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm gonna get it.
This just has to happen. That's so cool.
That can't actually be a picture of your item. Man. We must have used a picture of another item because that's impossible.
Unless they just didn't glue it and didn't put it together.
Is it a picture of the item with the certificate in it? How is a picture of itself in its own certificate on the certificate?
That's a cool case too, man.
There we go. Ready?
Da-da-da-da.
Whoa.
So
it's just the figure, but you see, it's not the. Typically, when we take a picture, it'll be the whole thing in the case.
Okay. No, yeah. It's
you couldn't have a picture of the case.
Oh, it's pre-graded.
The certificate in the case.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's all right. So
it's like an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in an enigma.
That's a cool case, man, with the way that Jawa is floating like that.
Yeah, you know what? I love it. Cool. Yeah, I'm never gonna have a carded vinyl cape Jawa, but I love this thing. Yeah, and it's like it's good grade, and it's got the certificate next to it. It's my vinyl cape Jawa.
Yep.
It's awesome.
But see, you need a Ken for that, man. Ken is very good at that detail oriented, really awesome. I mean,
wizard. I call him a wizard.
Nuts. Yeah.
He's a wizard.
Cases are nuts. I send you some of the stupidest looking, weirdest bootlegs on the face of the planet, and I don't know how you build something that'll hold it because it's not normal. It's not like it's just, put something on the feet. It's like build this attaching rope that connects this thing, that puts this thing here. Plus, my top toys just came back, and they look sick, man. My
nice, man.
Well, I said,
I like your cases. You're getting really cool with your cases.
I'm a machinist, and I do a lot of this stuff for a living. And I'll tell you what, like Ken is out of this world with some of the stuff. He really is. Like, he's somebody that, like, for the most part, anybody that knows CAS people will never see him. He's very outgoing, but he's not like, he's just, you don't see him.
Doesn't want the limelight.
Yeah,
the limelight.
but he is like our hidden rock star. Yeah. So I have almost no talent, but I'll get in front of a camera and talk. so Ken is sort of the antithesis of me. So it's.
Let's not forget about Lee too. Lee does amazing work with it.
Yes.
Lights out.
Yeah.
And I love when you guys switch to that. That's really, really nice. And you know what else? Do you know what I love about CAS? Here, I'll tell you. I'll kiss your tushes for a little bit.
Please.
Time before.
Please.
But,
Hook her up, buddy.
What I really like about you guys is if there's a suggestion, you take it and fix it. Like, remember when you first came out with the clamps like this on the vinyl figures?
Mm-hmm.
And like I was like, oh, it's kind of pushing down the cape in a weird way, and you guys like fixed that by the next time I sent in a figure.
They did great. They did great. Kind of little things that go on the shoulder that don't touch the cape, and the cape can sit out warm.
No,
I mean, simple stuff that has existed in grading forever, and none of the other grading companies ever fixed it. We had one person complain about it, and I told Ken and Lee, let's fix it. Let's fix it. It's easy. It's easy.
The best part about CAS is that you guys actually. And I'm not trying to speak out about anybody or anything, but if there's something that it's a no-brainer, it's like, yes, you got to rework something, you got to think of a different way, but why not? You guys are in the game to preserve things.
Right.
So you can think of a better way to do it. And I think that just your cases have completely changed the quality of archival of every single graded item in the world. Like, it is no longer just slapped in a sharp case because you forced everybody to make it better. And I couldn't be more thankful. So there you go. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's awesome. That's a good compliment.
Man, keep up the great work.
Tell your friends, Mike. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
I do.
So number 5 on the list, and everything else from here on out is going to be Star Wars, which isn't a really big surprise to me. But again, it's amazing what some of these other toy brands are starting to reach, and this is going to be something that I would imagine is going to be a mainstay on our high rollers list kind of thing. But number 5 is Kenner Star Wars 1977 early bird certificate, mint and seal box, graded near mint plus 85, sold as a buy it now for $13,999 for a cardboard envelope, because this is who we are.
We had one of those last month. That was top 3 last month, right?
Yep. Yeah, the grade. I mean, again, you could have pulled that straight out of a case and not gotten 85.
Right.
So
it just amazes me though that those exist still unused, right? I mean, a carded figure, I can understand that someone didn't open it. It looks nice on a shelf, but the fact that there is still early bird certificates that weren't used is just amazing to me.
Or that weren't thrown out. I mean,
right?
After the promotion is done, why wouldn't you just toss them?
So that sold for $14,000. I have a mentor of mine who he was actually over my house about a year ago. He used to own a toy store back in the like a vintage toy store, like a collectible store back in the 90s. He's who got me collecting vintage. He got me into that. And he said at one point in time, a guy walked in with a case of those. A case. He goes, I offered him like $100. They were kind of hard to move, and the guy said no, and he walked out of my life forever. Oh man. Case fresh.
Yeah. $14,000 now, bro.
Oh, ouch.
So just send me the town that was in, and I will go knocking door to door.
Waterford, Michigan. Come on, I'll take you for a tour.
There you go. Do you happen to have a box full of like Star Wars mailers?
Yeah. Anybody?
I heard tell.
Got 10 in my pocket, Bernie. So. Number 4. This is a repeat brand, and Anthony did a little bit of research on this. This is something. I guess it's an art piece, right? So number 4 is Metacom Star Wars. It was 2007. CAS is the name of the company. Original Fake is the name of the store that sold it, and it's a Darth Vader vinyl figure, and it looks like an 18-inch Darth Vader with Princess Leia buns, right? So it's not graded. It was manufactured in 2007. It was purchased in a Lucasfilm charity auction in 2011. It has a letter of authenticity signed by Howard Rothman, who was chairman of Lucasfilm in 2011. And it was sold as a best offer. So they were asking $16,999, and it went for $15,500 for a toy I know nothing about.
I can help with this one. It's art. He's an artist.
Okay.
That's worth a fortune because of who made it.
Okay.
It's like Banksy or Banksy.
I've heard.
Imagine if Banksy painted a Boba Fett picture and sold it at a George Lucas show. You know what I mean? Like if you look him up, look up KAWS. That's the artist, and it's all like those. It's not really Mickey Mouse, but it's like like Dead Mouse.
Does it? Yeah.
Sort of like the big heads
With the X's in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super duper famous. That's what that sold for, is because of
the
who
artist.
made it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah,
we
it's
did
not
we did
crazy,
this.
man. It's not some random thing you didn't know about. It's definitely an artist.
Well, that's what we thought last month because we had a Boba Fett. Same thing. So
Yeah.
I did look at it. So exactly, Mike. We had no idea. Cause is his tag name, his artist name.
Yeah.
He's actually a Jersey native. Grew up in Jersey City.
Wow.
Lives in Brooklyn. And he was he's 46-year-old artist. He has had his hand in everything. Like every industry, every pop culture category you can think of. He's designed albums for Kanye. He's designed Hennessy liquor bottles, guitar picks for John Mayer. Anyway, so he's a very well-known artist. And so this particular line, so Cause, as you said, is his name. Original Fake is the store and brand of this Japanese store in Aoyama, Japan. Yeah. And the store is full of clothing, accessories, and figures. And there's other things other than Star Wars. There's like everything from Peanuts to The Simpsons. And he put out this line of Star Wars figures. So that line in Original Fake ran from 2006 to 2013. But the thing I was impressed with, I didn't know that modern artwork could go for this much. So this is the thing with Cause. By the way, Cause, I learned that's his name. Right. It has nothing. It's not an acronym. It is not a nickname. He came up with that name because he liked the way the letters looked next to it. It was an aesthetically pleasing name, the way it looked, like just those letters. So anyway, he was commissioned by Nigo, who's like a Japanese designer in the early 2000s, to come up with it. And I'll show a picture here of this 40 by 40 inch painting of The Simpsons, but they were all his classic characters. So those things, we call them Leia-buns. All of his characters are these two bones coming out of his characters' heads. It's supposed to be Mickey Mouse, but they're bones instead.
See, it is kind of like Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this painting sold in Sotheby's, Hong Kong, 2019 for $15 million.
Whoa.
40 by 40 Simpsons painting.
Hey.
And now we know who's buying all these.
Is a very, very, very. You think vintage Star Wars toys? Forget about it.
Incredible. I thought it was crazy.
So does anyone know that CAS has actually graded multiple Cause pieces?
Have we?
Get out of here.
We have graded multiple Cause pieces. Go to our website, put in Cause for the item, and you'll see multiple Cause pieces that we've graded.
He's super famous. Yeah, there you go.
Crazy. I mean, it's
multiple
awesome.
Cause pieces.
Cause got his start. He was a street graffiti artist.
Awesome.
He would do that by night, and he would. I did a lot of research today. A lot of spare time.
Nice.
He would paint houses and apartment complexes and roofs across from his high school so that he could look at his work during class. He just phase out and look at it. So
yeah,
Jersey.
That's awesome.
Heart, man. You need that heart.
Jersey.
All right, so I'm going to talk about number 2 and number 3 at the same time because they're the same figure and they were actually both sold on the same day. And this is what I'm just going to do a little bit of editorializing here. I suspect that somebody didn't win this auction and went and bought the next one. So that's how I see this. So number 3 is Kenner Star Wars 12-back A Vinyl Cape Jawa, graded near plus 85, unpunched, clear bubble. So the grade on this one is card 80, bubble 85, figure 85, right? And it sold in an open auction for $17,600. Now number 2 is also the exact same figure, the exact same grade. However, whereas the first one was 80, 85, 85, this one is 85, 85, 90. So you're talking like, you don't have any subgrades that are lower than the grade. And this is where grading becomes important, right? You don't have any subgrades that are lower than the actual grade itself. And you actually do have one figure that's a 90. And I would guess that a loose 90 Vinyl Cape Jawa is probably a $3,000 figure just in and of itself, if not more. So this had an asking price of $23,500 and sold for $19,500. So you're looking at about a $2,000 difference between these two, based on one was an open auction, one was buy it now, but the grades, I guess, made that difference, even though they're both 85s.
That gets a man for me. It didn't seem that long ago to me that 12 to 13,000 was the high water mark for a carded vinyl cape. I guess I had no idea that these things were going for $19,000 now.
Right.
Just seems really high to me, but like I said, I haven't watched it for a couple of years now.
And two on the same day, so that just kind of tells you. I mean, it's not like an outlier.
It's not an outlier.
So those are your two vinyl cape Jawas, and we're gonna go to number one, and we actually have a last one beyond this, but it's because it's going to touch on a subject that CAS is going to start getting into. But number one is a little bit of a head scratcher for me, and if whoever bought this is listening, number one, I'm not trying to. I'd love to know a little bit more about why this sold for this much, and also maybe send it to CAS because I'm not graded. So this is a Kenner early bird figure set. It's loose. So it's got all 4 figures. It's got the double telescoping loose. The set comes with a COA from CIB that basically states that this was found with a bunch of stuff that was pre-production and has a box that has no mailer stuff on it, but there's nothing about it in and of itself that's pre-production. So to me, this is a loose early bird set, which is nothing to sneeze at. It's definitely a nice piece, but it sold for a buy it now of $25,000. Yeah,
I mean,
DT Saber on the Luke, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
no, I'm not saying that's worth anything.
I'll tell you this one right here for half.
Right.
Well, no. I mean, I was just saying, maybe the person either gambled on it and said, these are first shots, right? This is a first shot early bird or something like that. Maybe there's something they saw on here.
CIB didn't.
What do they know? What do they know?
Yeah.
Right. No, that's true. I mean, look, there was a gentleman that was selling similar stuff within the last year or two. That was a bunch of production figures that were found with a bunch of EPs and first shots. And I think CIB had issued a COA saying that those items were found with other pre-production items, which is great. Whatever. Like, if my Yugo is parked next to a Lamborghini,
it doesn't make it a Lamborghini. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, right. Well, and the thing is, too, is because all these pieces are loose, you could conceivably swap everything out.
Yeah. So is this just some really rich drunk guy, like drunken purchase, like 2 a.m. falling asleep, like, I'm gonna get an early bird, $25,000.
Look, there's a lot of nefarious stuff that happens on eBay too. Yeah. Who knows whether that's an actual finished sale versus
Have you seen Mickey Blue Eyes? Remember Mickey Blue Eyes, Hugh Grant, million-year-old, not very good movie.
No, I know Hugh Grant. I don't know the movie.
I don't remember
the movie. I never saw the movie, but I know the movie.
He ran an art gallery, right?
Yeah.
And an art gallery, and they would sell stuff like Sotheby's or whatever. And the hook is like he was marrying this girl that her family happened to be mobsters or whatever anyway. So they bring in like a really terrible painting, and he goes and sells it. They bid on it, and therefore they can move the money through the system. In order to make it legitimate. I mean, that's right on dead at $25,000 on the ball.
Money laundering.
Like $1,000 worth of figures. But the thing is then you have a completely credit card swipeable transaction if you just lost $25,000 on the Super Bowl.
Right. Well, and no offense to the person that bought it, because I would love to know, a little bit more.
If it's real and there's something special, I want to know too. But I'm looking at it. You put up pictures of this when you do this?
So I just have just the one picture right now, and I can definitely go back to the auction because I even keep the item number on it. But the only thing unique about this, in my opinion, and again, because none of this is sealed, conceivably the person could swap everything out, right? Yeah. But the only thing unique about this is that the box itself doesn't have an address.
Yeah, but see, I don't see. Did you see the picture of the box? Does it look good?
I didn't pay that much of attention, to be honest.
Right. So at best, you have figures that CIB couldn't authenticate as EPs. Maybe you have a sample box, right? Maybe the box is a sample, some pre-production sample.
That's fine.
It ain't worth 25 grand, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
It ain't worth 25 grand.
Free shipping. So there's that.
Hey, there's that. What?
All right, what's this extra?
So the last thing and it's a little bit of an announcement because we at CAS are good at encasing things that are rare and valuable, and this is something that has absolutely gone atomic, right? So
Smoking hot.
Yeah, very
Smoking
hot. So this is a 1977 Topps Star Wars Series 1 wax box, right? It is BBCE certified, meaning that BBCE is a company that went and looked at... Baseball
card exchange?
Yep, baseball card exchange. They went and they looked at all the packs. They know that those packs have not been tampered with. And they take and they wrap that cardboard box in cellophane, right? So so it's not graded. You don't know if that box is a 40 or an 85, right? All you know is that those packs are virgin packs, unopened, right? This thing sold in an open auction with 77 bids for $35,900.
Whew.
And it's sitting on a shelf somewhere, not in acrylic. And that is something we need to change, my friends.
Ooh, we do very much so. We do very much so.
But this is a reason. So this is actually a concrete example of an eBay sale. And there were three. So this is the most expensive. There were three of these that sold in the 30,000 range. There was one that sold in the 20,000 range in Hakes. So this isn't like an anomaly. This is happening.
Oh, no. Yeah, the cards are happening. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Some graded, the ones with the sticker on them? I think I saw a Luke Stormtrooper sticker card go for like $1,000. It was a 9.8 or something, but... Yeah,
so they're calling them rookie cards. So Luke and Stormtrooper was number 1 in this Series 1 card, and it graded 10 is an $8,000 card. Now, I will tell you this. I collected sports cards for quite some time, and people are like, well, if I open this box with all these packs that have never been opened, you're going to get 10s. Nope. Centering on this stuff is notoriously just terrible. Luke was on the very, very corner of a sheet, so it was not. So it was very. So if that sheet was not lined up dead perfect, those corner cards are the most off center, right? Because like things sort of stack up as it goes, and print flaws and print errors of all sorts. So to find a 10 is not easy, but 30. Okay, the Jeep I'm driving to ICC Con cost that much.
Yeah. That's
look, and I think just a year or so ago, those were $4,000 a box, maybe. Yeah. Maybe they've just shot up, along with all other trading cards.
Yes,
just unbelievable.
Trading cards are through the roof.
So this week's list featured 9 Star Wars items, 3 vinyl cape Jawas, 3 Masters of the Universe items, 2 Transformers, and 1 Barbie Major Matt Mason store display. So we actually got a good degree of diversity, but definitely seeing some other lines starting to get some stratospheric kind of numbers here. So wraps up our Investors Corner, and we like to end each show with a 2 cents, right? So it's one of us that maybe wants to share a little something with our audience, and we do appreciate, first of all, that you guys have been listening, and we thank Mike for being part of all this. But I think Ross has something prepared that he wants to say to end the show.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of give my approach to collecting and life in general. So we do something a little different this week. Anthony talked about the Risk game last week, which was awesome.
How he
a
cheats.
little more fun. How he cheats, right?
Yeah, cheats and beats his kids, yeah.
The Death Star never misses. Come on.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about some simple stuff today. It's a little deep. I've personally had kind of a rough 2021, dealing with some family issues that some of you out there know about, others don't. Deal with some loss in my family, and kind of focuses me back. And times like that really give you perspective about what you're doing and how you interact with people. And I want to kind of talk about my approach to the hobby is that we all love, and some of that permeates the way that I approach CAS. But it's very simple stuff. Treat others the way you want to be treated, and give the love out. There's a lot of stuff that happens in our hobby, and lot of competition and people trying to get over on one another, you know, making money off someone else or scamming someone. But really the most meaningful times that I've had are great interactions with people in the hobby and treating others with respect. And it's allowed me to make wonderful friends and make great connections in the hobby. And, you know, we can all kind of come together based on, you know, a love of collecting Star Wars or G.I. Joe or wax packs or whatever it is that drives you, what your passion for collecting, right? Your passion for collecting. You know, and that's what brings us all together. But what keeps us together is the way that you kind of interact with each other. And, you know, the three guys that are on tonight, you know, I've had wonderful connections with, and we've all formed very important friendships to me that, you know, on balance are more important than the collectibles, certainly more important than all that. But we're here together because we all share that passion. And so, you know, I see a lot of people struggling out there in certain aspects because they're not remembering that. As long as you remember to give out as much love as you can, I'm sure you're going to get that love back. So that's my approach to collecting. That's how we run CAS. We put our customer first, and make sure that we show the love out to them, and hopefully they shove it back. Shove it back? Show it back. Show it back.
Very well said.
So keep that in mind, and you will find good things in life and in collecting and everything else.
Hear, hear.
Awesome, Ross. Well said.
Awesome.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for Mike Havens for being here. And
thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
This is great, Mike.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
I can't believe how much MOTU is worth.
Start stocking up.
Buy it when I find wild finds.
That's true.
Yeah, and so we're going to see you in a few weeks, and I cannot wait.
I'm excited too, man. I'm excited to see
awesome.
everybody. I missed everybody. I really do.
Major FOMO right here, guys. Next year. Mike, I'll see you next year.
You can make it. Sit on back. Nobody wants on the bike. Let's think in back.
All right, listeners. Thanks. Until next time, keep collecting.
See you guys.
My friends.
Later.
All right.